I'm curious, what was most powerful for you about the CLCP? How has it essentially changed your leadership so far? And I'll start with you again, Noemi.
Yeah. So one of the features of the way the CLCP is structured is that you do a leadership assessment at the beginning, and you're asked to pick a topic that you want to work on, sort of based on your where you're at as a leader. And I've done various different things more informally, but actually thinking, okay, here's the thing I want to work on, and I've got a group to work on it with me, was different. I hadn't had that experience before, and I think there's probably different ways you can get that experience, but it's definitely a very important experience for a leader. And the idea was to structure it in such a way that you could repeat that process independently if you took it on. So my topic, I actually had two that were sort of related, was about making more organized use of my time. Did you see me looking over there? Because it's like still on my wall. So making more organized use of my time, and speaking up to express an idea that I had in meetings. So sort of seeing what I thought needed to happen and doing something about it rather than just going with the flow. So sort of recognizing that my personality is much more laid back and a little bit passive, recognizing that I needed to work to have a different approach, both for organizing my time and for my participation in meetings. So again, it's a journey. I'm on that journey, but I think it has been really helpful.
Thank you, Noemi. How about you, Janet? What's been most powerful so far for you?
Wow, there's so many big pieces, but some of what Naomi just said actually resonates pretty loudly. I tend to be more passive, and Rebecca used that phrase, being afraid of stepping on toes. Something about having a structure has normalized things for me. Like, oh, it's normal. We're just having a discussion about something. It's not anything personal. We don't have to bring excessive amounts of emotion into it. Nobody needs to be attacking each other. Not that we did much of that, but we did too much in the opposite direction. Oh, I can't mention that because they'll feel bad because they didn't finish that task. Which, crazy as it seems, I struggle with that immensely. So that was kind of a life changer for my ability to both say, hey, that's not my job. And we could clarify whose it was. And then I could also bring up, hey, because you haven't done this, this is how it affects what I do. Because our positions are very interrelated.
Right. Nice. Thank you, Janet. Yeah, and how about you, Rebecca?
Definitely, again, resonating. And the thing that stands out for me is that I've noticed that's gone into other parts of my life is this different way of listening to what's happening around, like in an organization or even in relationships, about what there's this thing called tension that we say, like where you're at versus where you want to be, whether it's a positive or negative thing, which are our agenda items. And I think I've started to think about the way that people bring things up to me, or I don't say like what will help you move this forward to my friends or my loved ones, but I am thinking about, okay, like I'm getting better at listening and getting better at knowing what's needed, or offering different ideas of what's needed rather than wherever I was before, which I'm having trouble remembering. But it's a different way of listening, whether it's in an organizational way or a personal way, which has, I think, helped me a lot to understand what's happening around me.